And good morning. It is Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I had to think about that a second. How are you doing? Well, we've got a lot to discuss coming up as we'll get into the weather forecast and just what a serious situation this is. Now, we're moving up on a level 3 for Friday, and then we have now progressed to a level 4. We're going to get into the breakdown of all of this here in a minute and make sure that you are safe as we enter this. Timing is going to be changed a little bit, and we'll get into all of that here in just a few moments to make sure that you're well aware of what is going on and where it is. So many of you are getting up and at 'em today. We're glad to have y'all. Becky, good morning. Janice is there as we move along. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Ann. All right, we're going to get into weather here in just a moment, and we'll study that very hard so that you're well aware of what it is. And then we'll get into some headlines, time permitting. All of that is up and coming here in just a moment at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll be right back. Let's go to Collinsville. Let's get us a good message. Collinsville Baptist.
Do you have a love for something or someone that at first you didn't think you'd like? Maybe it's your best friend that started off as your worst enemy, or maybe it took a few tries eating sushi for you to figure out that you love it. Whatever it is, it's amazing how our love for someone or something can overpower our first impressions of that person or thing. One of my best friends who I met in college seemed to be a little standoffish at first. Our paths crossed enough to be called acquaintances, and by the end of college, we may even have considered ourselves friends. But after college, our friendship took off. We discovered we liked all the same movies, the same shows, and same stuff, and so on. And today, he's one of my best friends, and our brotherly love for each other continues to grow. The Apostle Paul encourages the church of Thessalonica to grow in their love for each other as well. 1 Thessalonians 3:11-13 says, "Now may our God and Father himself and our Lord Jesus direct our way to you. And may the Lord cause you to increase and overflow with love for one another and for everyone, just as we do for you. May he make your hearts blameless in holiness before our God and Father at the coming of our Lord Jesus with all his saints. Amen." The Thessalonian church was a local body of believers, or a church family. So to operate as a family, there must be love for one another. And with that, not a stagnant love, but a growing, flourishing love. Paul calls on the Lord to increase and even overflow their love for one another. This growing and overflowing love for each other, in turn, will cause their hearts to be blameless, because Paul is praying that they become more and more like Christ. So, if you're a part of a church body, a church family, don't let your love for the people stagnate. No, just like someone acquiring the taste for sushi, let your love for those people flourish and overflow. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. How do you get on the show? Me and Odie have decided that, well, donuts work great. Isn't it? Yeah. Chad Acton will be in it a little bit. He's bringing donuts for us. We'll tell you what Chad has to say. Well, share a donut with you.
Food pays for everything.
Food does motivate a man. We have decided that. Good morning to everyone. Let me turn this volume down here so we can get going. All right, let's get into weather. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to spend a lot of time together over the next 24 to 48 hours. You'll see me, and you'll see a lot of the radar. At the end of the day, we're going to keep you safe is what we're going to do with this. We'll do it street by street as to where the storm is in the relationship to where you live. We'll keep you up to date when those warnings are issued and when they go and what we need to do over the next few hours. And you've got time until this thing comes in late Friday, overnight, and then Saturday afternoon. We will make sure that you've got a place to go to. If you don't have a tornado shelter, you need to plan now. If something were to happen, where would you go to be safe? As we learned, and I hate to use an example of a loss of life, but we want to bring this and be very clear about this. We lost a life in Clark County the last storm from a tree. It struck a nice lady, and she lost her life in that storm due to a tree falling. We don't want you to be our next statistic or example. We want you to get through this safely. If you're inside, outside, anywhere near a tree, you need to make sure that you're away from that when these winds blow. But we're talking anywhere from 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. Anything is going to sway, snap back. It's going to be a lot of wetness that happens, causing trees to fall, and your home could be that. I can't count the times we've looked at homes to where the tree has centered it, flattened it. And it doesn't matter whether it's a mobile home or if it's a brick home, it will still have the same effect. Now let's go to Saturday and look at what we've got from the National Weather Service. Let's start here. As we pull this up, this is the level 3 that we're going to have for Friday. Let's start here Friday. I messed up on what I just said. As we look at this, here's the Meridian area over to Thermopolis, all the way northward into Tennessee. And this area of a level 4 will happen around Columbia, Jefferson City, these areas right here as you'll look at this in Illinois. It'll be just outside north of the northern end of northwest corner of Tennessee. Will have this Union City just west of Paris, Dyersburg. These areas here in Jonesboro, Arkansas will also be under level 4. The Meridian area, Tuscaloosa over to Vicksburg area, will be a level 3. Now, that's still serious as we look at all of this of what's going to be going on. Possible tornadic activity included with this. As we turn on these locations, as you'll see here, this takes in all of this immediate area. Now, this will cut right across as we talk about Jay's taxidermy every now and then. Jay's is going to be the line of the level 3 storm as it cuts across those railroad tracks in Clark County across there to Carmichael and goes right on into Jasper County over to the hospital right here at Jasper General. That's going to be the level 3. Over to Lisbon, Butler, Alabama, all of y'all are going to be under this level 3 as well when it arrives on Friday. That's what we're looking at that. Now, as we get into what is happening on Saturday, and let me show you the graphics. Hang on here. Let me come back over here and show you the graphics of what the National Weather Service, number 1, is going to be putting out on Friday, and then we'll go to Saturday. Let me turn this on. For some reason, I got carried away. Oh yeah, I was into some Chris Christopherson earlier, and it got me thrown off. Let's look at what we have here for Friday. Here's what the National Weather Service is showing of all this. The timing: late afternoon, 4 p.m. Friday to 6 a.m. Saturday, as we adjust these times as it comes about. With this, severe storms, damaging winds, and tornadoes are possible, which means they can happen under level 3. We've seen them. Now, let's look at what they're telling us on level 4, and then we'll go to the live radar. I didn't upgrade that. Let me go back here and show it a different way because I can. Hang on here. A little off course of what I'm doing here. All right, let me minimize something here and get this over. All right, here is what the National Weather Service is telling us here with this. As you'll see, they've increased this to 60 to 70 mile an hour winds for Friday. Tornadoes are likely. The language of it's a possible is out. It is likely is what the National Weather Service is telling us as we pull this up. Large hail up to golf ball size hail, and you'll see this goes up to Eupor, Columbus, and all this. Timing, Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. What we're most likely seeing is a storm move out of here by 10 p.m. When we start seeing afternoon, this will be after lunch anytime. It will be more defined when we get a little bit closer to this storm as to what will happen. Again, this is a level 4. Now let's go back to live radar and take a look at what we're doing on this while I can zoom in and show you a little bit more detailed than a still picture can do. Almost there. I'll have my ducks in a row next time for everybody. All right, here's the radar, and let's change this to on Saturday. Outlook day 3. Here we go. This is the level 4 that we're going to have. This is going to stretch from Birmingham, Alabama, to Baton Rouge, taking in Mobile, Biloxi, Hattiesburg, over to Vicksburg, and as we go north, you'll look at this now. The majority of this is in Mississippi and Alabama. West Point, Stark, Vegas, all of these areas are in here. This is not someplace far off. This is right here where it's going to be focused. You're going to be seeing a lot of weather guys arrive in town as we track tornadoes. They will be coming through and passing, all these weather chasers. They will be in the area of the state on Saturday. It's coming. As you'll see here, this goes all the way back over to Vicksburg, Macomb, every bit of this right up to the bridge there at Natchez. Slidell, Louisiana is included with this. And again, this is not telling us that tornadoes are possible. It's telling us they are very likely and they're going to be very strong tornadoes is what we're going to have. It is something to be prepared for. Don't waste your time of not overlooking this. Don't go, oh, it's just another storm. Don't do that, please. Pay attention to what we're doing. If you've got a generator, go ahead and get this thing, make sure it's running. likelihood that power will go out pretty strong there as these winds come through with that big a wind. If you work for the power company, you might as well go ahead and tell your spouse that you're going to be out for just a little bit, because you'll be putting in some overtime as we head into this weekend with what is going on with it. Be prepared as we get the storms. We want everybody to be safe by all means. Now, let's back up and take a look here at what we've got with the rest of the weather as we look at this, since we're on this morning. As we come across, let's look at what's happening with our temperatures as we get into this. Alabama is going to be the same. As we pull this up for the next week, as we show that 79, 80 today is going to be the forecast. They've tweaked this just a little bit and went to 80. As we see Friday, we're moving into 83, one of the warmest days that we've had so far this year. You mix all of this heat and storms is what we've got coming. By Saturday, we're at 76, 90% chance of these storms. And again, all this will begin late Friday, overnight into Saturday afternoon, when we should expect the worst. Sunday, things start to clear out. We'll get to a high right at 70, and Monday, as we move into Tuesday, 77. We're climbing those temperatures back up. As we look at this, here we go, 65 for Thursday. We'll see 67 on the 21st. And as we get toward the end of the month, you'll see here, not a lot of cold weather shaping this for the rest of March. We're going to be in these upper 70s right up until the end of the month. Partly cloudy skies is what we'll see. Has it been cold in April before? It sure has. But all indications is old Phil was wrong and summertime is coming. That's what we're seeing at this point. Now, as we get into fishing forecast, enjoy it today while you can get out and enjoy fishing as we pull this look up for our best times today. It's going to be high noon is when it will be till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Sunrise hits at 7:07 this morning, and sunset will roll in around 7:11 this afternoon. It's going to be a good day as we get prepared for more severe weather over the next couple of days. And again, this forecast can tweak. We're still some 48 hours plus on Saturday of this stuff moving in, and it will tweak a little bit. Could we go higher than a 4? We sure could. This is a very strong storm we're watching, and right now it's settling at a 4. We'll see what happens to it as it gets a little bit further on up in the day as we watch these storms as they come in. Again, prepare now, so you will know the absolute most when we get there. More on the way as we'll tell you a few of the headlines and things that are happening across America as we approach severe weather in the area. We'll do that next here in a moment.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Welcome back, and I guess I'll ask the room here. Let's see who made this quote. This was said yesterday, and I think it'll be pretty easy for everybody. Here goes. Odie, you ready for this?
I'm working.
Chad, y'all ready? Here it says, I love Ireland. I have many properties there, and they do well. If they didn't do well, I probably wouldn't like Ireland.
Rosie O'Donnell.
That's Donald. Saying if they mess up his hotel, he ain't gonna like them no more.
Well, Rosie's gonna leave there. Donald likes
He during a press conference, he did tell the guy that runs it, the Prime Minister, bless you, you now have Rosie. Did y'all see that? It was rather funny as we look at that. I did see this, and I watched the video several times. I won't play it, but just because it's disturbing. As you often see preachers, I can remember Jimmy Swaggart being on the street corner, and you've seen the movie of how he got started on street corners preaching. People do it here in Meridian. I see them all the time. They're all over the world. A preacher was preaching. It was a subject that he was on that seemed to rattle someone. As he told them, men are men, women are women. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. A gun was pulled on him by someone who thought they were a female that was really a man. all caught on video. And again, he'd done it and walked off. No one was harmed, but preaching the gospel and, well, attacked is what that all boils down to. Hey, this is great. Kuwait, 6 Americans who were held captive have been released. Isn't that wonderful? More of our folks coming home. I like to hear stories like that. Statistics this morning. Let's give a statistic here. Everybody ready for this? I wasn't the best at math, but even I can understand this one. Elon Musk puts this out. Elon and Doge discovered that there are 394 million Social Security recipients in the U.S. 394. Y'all write that down. 394 getting checks. There are only 334 citizens. 334 million citizens. Somebody missed something here? Even my mathematics add up to something ain't right. And we wonder why we're broke and more comes out of your check. It's people abusing the system. Boy, there's a lot of that. And again, we've got people, and I get frustrated as I see people really trying to help America when we have another group fighting them to stop that. And I don't care what side of the fence you're on or what you vote, how you vote. There's right and there's wrong. People abusing things is not right. Well, let's see here. Oh, there's probably more. But I will raise my hand and say there's 2 people, 2 professions in this world that I want them to take every test, pass it on their own, no cheating whatsoever. Number 1, a doctor. I think a doctor never needs to look on someone else's piece of paper because he's not going to be able to look over the shoulder when he's in the operating room. Got to be the best of the best, the elite, a doctor. They're well worth whatever they're paid. And you go, now, Scotty Ray, wait till you're on that table there and you need somebody that knows what they're doing. Number 2, those fellows that sit up as an air traffic controller and they tell airplanes where to go and what to do. You can't cut corners, and pilots, you cannot take shortcuts on people that do that for a living because it puts lives at risk. A DEI activist has been caught on voicemail, where this story goes, of showing those that couldn't pass the test how to cheat and get past it. Do we really want those people dealing with airplanes? It's the air traffic control exam, cheating. No, sir, I don't want that. Just thought I would add that in this morning. But that happens a lot. There's no telling what we don't know.
The guy who barely passed med school is called doctor.
Yeah, as Odie put it, the guy who passes med school with the lowest score is still a doctor. It's true. We don't need any cheating on those jobs there. Let's see here. I can't back that up. I'm not going to do that story. I've looked and I can't verify that. Let's see here. Trump ICE. Oh boy. They're showing that the books were cooked on arrest. It was a catch and release program and they were showing this as it was an actual arrest and it wasn't. How many have we locked up so far? 32,000, something like that. Something like that. But the numbers are skewed from the last administration is what we're seeing here. Oh, here's another one of those quotes that I saw this morning. And I'm talking about a Republican is what I'm talking about. As you get out of this, Trump made a comment. He says, Schumer is a Palestinian as far as I'm concerned. He used to be Jewish, but he's not Jewish anymore. He is a Palestinian. Trump said that. I don't know if y'all have seen that. He done that during one of the interviews. Some folks got upset. Hey, look at this. Who's going to be running for president? I had forgotten about this guy. He's already making plans to run. He was the former mayor of Chicago. If I'm pronouncing his name correct, Rahm Emanuel?
Yep.
He's gearing up to run. Even I don't remember his name. I don't know what his chances are. And let's be honest about this. It's name recognition that gets you elected, especially in these big markets like that. Being president, you got to be able for people to know who you are. A manhunt on the way, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You're going down the road and you stop at a stop sign. Somebody's mad at you. I saw 2 of these this morning where a guy jumped out of a delivery truck. It looked like he had some form of PVC pipe and started whooping up on the car next to him. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this morning, they're still looking for a guy that pulled a gun on a 15-year-old at a stoplight. No one was hurt, but you don't do it. He did fire some rounds into the air. They're looking for him. And if they have any tag readers, they certainly know where he's hiding. We'll see what becomes of that. We've got some more stories. Have you seen this? Fox News put this out. Let me show you a picture of the statue. Gavin Newsom, and I'll refer to him as the guy that let the wildfires get out of hand in California and destroy homes because they didn't take precautions. Have you seen the bust that the bust, number one, we'll word it that way. $97,000. Odie, what happens when you want your own bust and, well, nobody contributes? You got to pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
He's contributed, I think, somewhere close to $97,000 to have that put together there. Nothing like it. You know what that really reminds me of? I'll never forget the episode, and nobody showed up, when George Jefferson opened up the George Jefferson Museum. Y'all remember that? And he had the different stages. Wheezy was the only one there, along with Florence. Here we go. Real life. Mr. Jefferson now has his own statue.
I'd have done it, shit.
And it's really, let's look at that picture again. Is that really a good look? Fox News has it there.
For California, it is.
It's like he's being windblown. Okay. I'm over that now. We're a few minutes away from the morning show getting underway. We had to share that. If you haven't seen it, Google that today and take a look at it. It's mighty interesting. Coming up, we'll talk to Lost Gap. As severe weather moving in, the car show's got to be moved. Nobody wants to get the car out during the rain. They're real touchy over those antiques. They don't like those out to get wet. We're going to tell you when they're moving the show, too. That's next as we get ready for the morning show. Buckle up. We got to make a pot of coffee, or all of us are going to be grumpy. We couldn't get along, could we?
No.
No coffee means I almost had a panic attack this morning. I opened the cabinet and I was making my coffee and I looked down underneath it and there was only one gallon of coffee left. I thought, oh my heavens, I got to get a hold of my wife. She's got to order me something. I turned around, I already had another case. That woman's good. Y'all hear me? She thinks before I do. Just wanted to do a thank you there for some coffee for my wife. We'll be right.
After you talked about it,
Oh, hush, buttering up talk over there. We'll be right back. Oh, and I'm also going to be telling you where I'll be today. Make sure to get your kids together. I'd love to see them today around 10:30. We'll tell you where to come. Big book reading. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that coming up at the top of the hour. Join us, won't you?
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.